Hey, and welcome back to another Apex Legends guide. On today's video, I'll be diving into all of the Apex Legends grenades and why you should be using them more. Now, if you don't know, I create other Legend guides. I've done Lifeline, Bangalore, and I'll be resuming them now as well going forward as some of the new Legends. But I think one thing people forget are how powerful grenades actually are. I think grenades tend to be forgotten about whenever I spectate or watch streams. The power of an arc star or thermite grenade is incredibly underappreciated and can really change the battlegrounds if used correctly, swaying the battle in your favour. A good way to learn the grenades, in my opinion, is specifically the arc star and the thermite, is good practice to jump into firing range and throw them at the dummy until you learn the range of each grenade, the movement, and the best ways to utilise them in battle. For example, if you grab an arc star, run against a wall, bounce off another wall, and try and hit or land somewhat near one of the dummies. Now, to start is the arc star. One of my favourite grenades in Apex Legends. It's basically a meme on my streams. A perfectly thrown arc star is incredibly lethal, and with the slow on top of the damage, I find close fights to be pretty easily won if they're used correctly. Now, arc stars have a range of 100 meters when thrown. However, this is a bit far to allow for a follow-up. So I only really use them when I'm already engaging or I'm just about to engage in a fight. Not if I'm just throwing it away to then catch up with the grenade and join the fight from, you know, however long away, whether it's 100 meters away or 80 meters. The reason I like the arc star is because after a direct hit, the enemy will either be half HP or downed, and also slowed, which is a big thing that people kind of forget about. It's a devastating item to use, and again, it is incredibly underused. Next up, we have the Thermite Grenade. Now, where the Arc Star will stick to anything or anyone, the Thermite Grenade's a bit different. When throwing the Thermite Grenade, it'll bounce off of any surface that isn't flat enough to stand on. When hitting the surface that it can stand on, it will split and create a line of fire that you can't jump over if you're on the same level. If someone is stuck in the thermite, they will be downed within 6 seconds. That is an incredibly short time, sorry. It's incredibly lethal, and using in a small building can absolutely decimate the enemy team. An interesting way to use a thermite is to put it in front of you and shoot your enemy through it, as it can obscure the vision. And because of the split, you can throw it behind cover, say for example a car, and it will damage the enemy's hiding because it spreads out in a line. And as I said, they can't sit in a thermite grenade for any more than 2 seconds, as they'll be half HP, you know, off the bat. Now lastly, the Frag Grenade. Definitely the easiest grenade to use and the most recognisable. Its use is what's it seen in other video games. Bouncing off walls, rolling around for about 4 seconds. But when throwing the Frag Grenade quite far, it can give the enemy a very small window to react to, as the grenade will detonate quicker. So for example, if you lob it pretty much 50 to 60 meters, they're going to have a very short window to decide what to do when that grenade lands next to the enemy, if you can obviously throw it correctly. But if you're practicing the firing range, that should be relatively quite easy. The Frag Grenade itself deals more damage than both the thermite and the arc stars if hit by the center of the explosion. So if you can hit someone with a Frag Grenade and it explodes upon hit of the enemy, it will do more damage than the arc star and the thermite. It is incredibly powerful. I myself don't tend to use the Frag Grenades. I tend to use more the Arc Star and potentially a Thermite Grenade. I find Frag Grenades to be a little bit less precise because they can bounce off of walls, bounce off of doors, off of people. The Arc Star is super fun to use. The Thermite is super fun to use. I mean, just look at this Arc Star clip right now.
Demon here. Oh my god. Dude, I just launched like 60 arc stars. All dead.
Now, all 3 grenades will blast open doors on explosion. The Thermite Grenade will take 1 to 2 seconds to open the door. So as soon as a frag explodes, door will open up. Arc Star explodes, door will open up. Thermite will take 1 to 2 seconds. Now, one of my favourite ways of using the grenades in Apex Legends is to put the grenade on the other side of the enemy. So it forces the enemy to come towards you, or left or right, which leaves them very open for you to then obviously decimate and destroy. If you really like grenades, consider using Fuse. the legend who is incredibly irritating in my opinion when it comes to voice lines, but Fuse can hold 2 grenades in one slot, so holding 2 arc stars only takes up 1 inventory slot, and you can shoot them from an automated arm gun that can really change the course of battle. Thank you for listening, guys. The next guide will be an Octane guide, and then I'll be moving through the other legends I haven't done. I've done Gibraltar, I've done Bangalore, I've done Lifeline. Please let me know if you want any tips or tricks on what you think would be a good video, what you want me to break down and give you a guide on. But apart from that, have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video.
Leave me! Don't want to die! Oh, fuck me. Oh!